Alright, so today we've just come down to Sugarloaf Reservoir. Been down here a few times in the last couple of weeks, just catching redfin. So today we're doing the same. I'm just running a little soft plastic, just a curltail. I've caught a couple on this, so yeah, I'll start with that and then change it up if we're not getting any bites. Alright, so we're just fishing this little area of Sugarloaf. No real reason for it. Only reason I suppose is that this is where I've come normally, and this is where I get most of my redfin. Also too, because of the wind, if you have like a northerly or westerly wind like we have today, this is nice and still. Whereas when you have like a southerly, southeasterly, it's pretty choppy, the water, and it gets a lot, stirs it up and not as clear, and yeah, so that's why we're here. Got one, just a real small little, see, and the whole school follows him up. So there you go, small little redfin, just chomped the grub. Come on mate, let it go. Open up your mouth. There you go. That's Sugarloaf redfin. So yeah, pretty standard stuff, also known as European perch. Pretty sure they were introduced a long time ago. You can put them back, they're not like carp, but at the same time you're not meant to transport them between waterways. I've heard people compare them to flake, like obviously about the freshwater variant. If they're big enough you can get a couple of fillets off them, so they're meant to be pretty good. Oh, there he goes. Number one down. But yeah, you'll notice when one hits the lure, when it comes up to the shore, the rest of the school follows it. So you get like, you've got like 5 redfin all sitting at the end here. When you're fishing little grubs and other little soft plastics, rather than just a straight slow retrieve, I like to just, you know, give the rod a few twitches as I'm retrieving it. I know it adds a bit of action, makes the lure look a bit more lively, sort of thing. So yeah, it's nothing real technical, just slow retrieve, a few twitches, and hopefully should catch you some fish. So another thing too, when you're fishing little lures like this, grubs and that, when I first cast it out, I like to let it sink to the bottom, mainly just so it gets into the deeper water where the hopefully bigger fish are sitting. And then after that you can just start your slow retrieve. Just helps that it's not sitting on right on the top of the water the whole time. Alright, so we're just gonna switch it up a bit. Gonna chuck on a strike tiger nymph. This is one I prepared earlier. So I call them a 1-inch nymph. They're just meant to replicate like the little sort of, I don't know, bugs and critters you get in the waterways. So these usually go pretty good here. One of the times I was here I caught like 4 or 5 on one of these. So yeah, we'll chuck it on and see how we go. So this is just what I carry. This is like my redfin and trout box. So it's pretty standard stuff. Got all the Tassie Devil lures. I haven't caught any trout on that before, but they're meant to be good for like trolling and that sort of thing. So minnows, I've caught redfin here on those before. Got some other Rapala minnows, soft plastics, spinners, little crankbaits, and some blades, and some other vibes and little things. But yeah, they all go pretty good for redfin. I'm yet to try them all out yet, but eventually I'll get around to it. See all these bait fish?
Oh yeah.
That's what the redfin are after, massive school. See, look at them all following my lure as well. Phased by it. Literally just kept swimming past. That's so weird. Big squid there somewhere. I'll get him. Alright, so we're just going to switch it up from that strike tiger nymph. We weren't really having any luck with it. Half the reason why, I mean, we had a big school of redfin come past, like the same size as the last one we caught, and I put the nymph right in front of them and they didn't even bat an eye at it. So, and the other thing is too, it's sort of being on such a light jig head, it's really hard to cast like good distance. So we're going to just switch over to this little minnow instead. I've caught a couple on this before. It's nice, bright coloured, and has a bit more weight to it. So we'll see how we go with this. Alright, so the fish sort of went off the bite at Sugarloaf. So instead we're going to go to a small creek just nearby that actually runs out of Sugarloaf. I've got some decent redfin and there's trout in there, so we'll give that a go and see if we can get any. This is what it's like when I do the other creek anyway. As you can see, this particular part of the creek that we came to, even though it's the same creek as the one I normally catch fish in, this area has a lot, obviously less flow. The water looks a lot dirtier, a lot more algae growth, so we might have a harder time finding fish, but we'll just have to keep trying. Alright, so we've had a bit of a walk up this little creek and it's pretty clear that it doesn't get a lot of flow. Look, there might be fish in here, but if there were, I don't think there are very many. They're obviously, I think, all downstream where there's a bit more of a junction where there's obviously a lot more water, a lot more flow. So we're gonna call it a day, head back home. So if you enjoyed watching us catch fish, or one fish, or if you like fishing content in general, be sure to leave a like, let us know, subscribe, and see you in the next one.